Hello YouTube, this is Andrew, and yes, Master Duel has finally arrived. Today I wanted to talk about 5 of the best decks that I think are going to be dominating ladder on release. If you guys like this kind of content, you want to see more Master Duel content, I really appreciate a subscription to the channel. Also, I do go live on Twitch about 4 times a week, and I'm going to be streaming Master Duel. I also have a Discord if you guys like to join the Discord. There's a really nice active community. Links are in the description. Without further ado, let's get into the lists. Alright, so I came to these conclusions after reviewing OCG lists from the time period in which this ban list was active. So it's around July of last year, and OCG was playing pretty much the same ban list that is being seen today on Master Duel's launch. They didn't have Mystic Mind banned, which they did choose to ban in the Master Duel, which I'm pretty happy about. But the first deck that I want to showcase is Virtual World. Now, Virtual World was a plague of many formats due to this card, True King of All Calamities. True King is a insane floodgate that locks out your opponent from attributes and attacking or using the effects of any attribute. So you can go ahead and declare whatever attribute you want, and all monsters in the field become that attribute. So that's going to be the focus of this deck. I'll post links in the description to deck lists, but yeah, this is a pretty standard list. We're going to play 3 crossout in most decks. Now, you do have to take in consideration this is a best of 1 format that they've given us in Master Duel, so you're going to want a main deck like Harpy's Feather Duster and Forbidden Droplets or Dark Ruler No More in order to not instant lose to Floodgate cards, but this deck is extremely consistent. You're going to have 8 ways to stop your opponent's maxi plus your own maxis, and then if you are able to go first unabridged, you just go ahead and make a VFD, a True King of All Calamities, or 2 of them using your Cloud Castle combo. You can rip cards from your opponent's hand, and overall it's just insane and consistent. The next deck I want to showcase is Prank Kids. Now, Prank Kids in the TCG only have 1 copy of Meow Moo, but in Master Duel, we are going to have 3 copies of this card. Limits on Totally Awesome and Verte really don't affect you because you're just using the 1 Verte to get to Thunder Dragon Fusion, giving you access to Battle Butler. But yeah, this deck is going to be insane in this game. It can play a ton of generic staples and hand traps, extremely consistent, so if you're trying to rank up on ladder fast, Prank Kids are a really good pick. In addition, I chose to main deck 1 Kaiju in this list as a main deck out to Floodgate monsters that cause you problems, as well as the Forbidden Droplets to take care of crazy boards from decks like Bird Up or Drytron. Also, Vanity's Emptiness is at 1 in this format. We do have to remember that this Floodgate exists. Main deck back row removal is going to be very important. The third deck I'd like to showcase is Zoodiac Tri-Brigade. This deck was extremely dominant in the OCG during this time period, and also in the TCG. It's just a really good engine. The Zoodiac cards can get you access to Divine Arsenal AA Zeus, creating a board wipe, which you can then follow up with a Tri-Brigade Kara summoning and bringing out a boss monster, such as Appaloosa, or even getting into a card like Ancient Warrior Oath, Double Dragon Lords. In this format, we do have 3 Fire Formation Tenki, a card that's limited in the TCG, and this deck has plenty of room for a crossout designator and targets. You can play whatever hand traps you want, and if you draw the target, you can shuffle it back into your deck, rather put it at the bottom of your deck using Farajit the Baron Blossom, which you summoned using your normal combo. So you'll get to draw a card and then put back whatever card you draw, be it the 1 copy of Veiler or maybe a single copy of Nibiru the Primal Being, and then you're able to use crossout designator, banishing it from your deck. One thing I also want to mention about this deck is it's really cheap to build. A lot of the cards are rares or normals, so even at the beginning of the game, this might be a good option for you putting together the Tri-Brigade core. The fourth deck I want to talk about is Drytron. Now, Drytron is a pretty well-known insane combo deck in the TCG. It wasn't played heavily in this format in the OCG due to the prevalence of mid-range decks and Max C, but I want to bring it to your attention because you have Crossout Designator, Called by the Grave, and potentially 3 Ash Blossom, meaning you can have up to 8 stoppers for the Max C. In addition, this deck can also play Herald of the Orange Light. That's 11 stoppers for Max C, which is, usually enough. If they draw it, you're more likely to have a stopper. In this deck has 3 Cyber Angel Ben 10, a card that's limited in the TCG. In addition, you have 2 copies of Ava, a card that's limited in the TCG, and Union Carrier. This card's banned in the TCG for good reason. Union Carrier can equip an Ava to one of your monsters, and then when it's sent to the graveyard, being a machine, you can use this as one of your ritual summon materials, sending the Ava and searching for 2 cards. Then Beatrice can do it again on your opponent's turn. It's extremely consistent, and you put up a giant Herald on the board with multiple negates in addition to other interruptions such as like an Itmask Arena. Yeah, this deck is no joke. If they get to go first and combo, you're probably out of that game unless you draw something like Forbidden Droplets or maybe a Dark Ruler no more. Even Dark Ruler isn't perfect because if Beatrice sends Ava during the standby phase, you can search more copies of Herald of the Orange Light and play from the hand. Overall, one of the best combo decks in the game, and it'll surely be seen at high-rated ladder on Master Duel. The 5th and final deck I want to mention in this video is Eldlich. Now, during this format in the OCG, it was pretty much a triangle format, with decks 1, 2, and 3 from this list dominating the meta. However, there were some topping Eldlich lists, and this is due to its resilience. It doesn't really get affected by hand traps. This format has 3 copies of Skill Drain. You can play Vanity's Emptiness. Summon Limit's insane, especially in a best-of-1 format where people are going to have limited outs to this card. And you have really great draw cards. Pot of Extravagance. You can even play 3 copies of Card of Demise. Not necessarily standard, but I wanted to make mention that this card is at 3. I also chose to include Inspector Border into this list as your normal summon. This is optional, but a card like Border is so oppressive, and a lot of decks are not going to be able to out this guy, so it'll give you multiple free turns, and some people in their entire deck will not have an out to this card. You can also play Imperial Order, and in the extra deck, we're just playing Entess to facilitate the Dogmatic of Punishment, but you can pretty much put whatever you want there. This deck doesn't really go into the extra deck. Thanks for watching this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about some insane interactions that you can do in Master Duel, but you can't do in the TCG. Again, if you like this content, really appreciate a subscription, and we'll see you in the next video.